when they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, you're listening live to 105.3 out of Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, and this is the thing at the foot of the bed. Hang tight, guys. As always, we just got to get TikTok going here. Oh my goodness, all these pop-ups all of a sudden. Hang on. Take me just a sec. And then I can concentrate because my brain still doesn't want me doing two things at once here for some reason. I don't know why, but it doesn't. So hang on. There we go. Okay. So welcome. I see a few people in the chat. Thanks, Michelle Wilfong. I'm going to give her a huge shout out. She's heading over to TikTok. We're going to mention that in just a second. So thank you, Michelle Wilfong. She's one of my mods over there. Anyways, my name is Lorilei Potvin. I am a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor. I'm also a registered nurse, well-versed in near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler myself and studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years. I'm also extremely well-versed in the paranormal. I always say I didn't go looking for it, it found me. We've shared some of our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor, Season 4, Episode 9. I didn't name it, but it's called Demonic Hauntings. You can find that actually on YouTube, Netflix, all over the place if you want to watch it. Also, I'm an animal communicator working on that. I also have a second show on the network called The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin on what day here? Mondays, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. I will have to try and remember by the end of the show to check for you guys. I always forget to see who's coming on because we are booking into almost the middle of July right now, which is a good thing. Give me one sec about this. Oh, good. We're having Iona Mead back on from the UK. She's been on once before, and you guys really liked her. So she's coming back on, so that should be fun. Also, if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and family. There really is something for everybody on the network. It's not all just UFO-y and paranormal. I believe we're up to almost 40 live hosts on the network. So we stream multiple shows daily, 7 days a week. And when we're not streaming live, the archive server kicks into the past 25 plus years. Yes, that's how long this network's been around, and pulls random shows to play for you guys. So we are live 24/7. I believe I think on YouTube, many of the places where talk radio and podcasts are carried. We also have a website I always forget to mention, which is www.uprntalkradio.com. So you can listen live over there as well. Also, though, we do stream to every country in the world, which is awesome. But 80% of our audience is audio only. So I say if you can't see us, you can't join the conversation. And we will say hi to everybody in a few minutes over in the chat. We've got such a great live audience. So how you can join the conversation if you're listening live, there's a few places. You can go to my Facebook, which is Lorilei Potvin. It's public, so anybody can watch and join in the conversation. We're on the Angel Rock on LinkedIn, which is my LinkedIn profile. The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin on YouTube. Our now main YouTube channel, which is UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials on YouTube, as well as UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio on Twitch. We are streaming to Instagram under the Angel Rock. We've got Joanna Garfi McNally over there. Hi, Joanna. Now, just so you know, the chat does not integrate over on Instagram or TikTok, which reminds me I should start the live feed so I can keep an eye on there. Give me one sec, guys. Can't remember everything. I do try here. But anyways, now we're live, I can see. So, like I just mentioned, we're on TikTok on the Angel Rock. I want to give Michelle Wilfong another huge shout out. She's one of my mods over there, and she's incredible. She does a great job with moderating the chat. So they also don't integrate your comments there. So as we're live, I'm going to be switching between Instagram and TikTok, because if you know, this show and the Angel Rock are both very audience participative. And without you guys, we always say we'd just be having a great chat between my co-host David and I. I always do all the housekeeping. He takes over the last end of it. So he's waiting very patiently here for me. Thank you, Dave. We are also streaming to David's profile under Spiritual Medium, David Hanzel, Dave?
Yeah, it's just Medium David Hanzel.
Okay, Medium David Hanzel, and then the Spirit Experience on his own YouTube channel, which you guys can also watch the show live. What else do I want to tell you guys? Oh, if you want to watch this on TV, you can. The network does have its own TV channel on Roku. So you're going to go to Roku, either on your app, your Fire Stick, I think even we're streaming through Alexa now, I see. So you can go there. You're going to go to the channel store and type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop-down list. We're about the third or fourth one down, and you're looking for UFO, paranormal, and United Public Radio. And that's how you can watch us. Also, don't want to forget to tell you guys, please stay tuned for the second night of the Outer Realm, coming up right after this in about 2 hours with Michelle DeRoche or Amelia Pisano. We have a great show. And before I sing, I'm going to give them a shout out too. Carol Ann has her show from 5 to 7, and believe it or not, my brain just went. Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. I knew it would come to me if I kept talking long enough. She's on from 5 to 7. She's got a great show, so check her show out as well. If I remembered everything, I think I am. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry, it took me so long.
Oh, that is okay. So, and then we can do, you got, if we're on Alexa, that's kind of fun, because you say, hey, Alexa, what's at the foot of the bed? What's that thing at the foot of the bed? They can big picture.
I don't use my Alexa.
Space in there. Yeah, I don't ever use it either. Hey, guys, my name is David Hanzel. I am a spiritual medium and a channel. I am also an animal communicator, and I also studied near-death experiences as well, having had one in 2015. And I also study theories of metaphysical theories, the universal laws, all that fun stuff. A lot of stuff that Lorilei do. Me and Lorilei, we do kind of the same things, and then we do a couple other different things. But yeah, if you would like to follow us on Facebook, that'd be great. Our Facebook page is called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel. There, Lorilei is always kind enough to post whatever videos that we play during the show in there. So if you're just listening right now, you know that if you actually join the group, you can see what we were talking about instead of guessing. So, and then you can also post some stuff in there about any experiences you had. Other people post their experiences, pictures, fun stuff. It's a nice little community we got going. As soon as things slow down for Lorilei and I, we will start doing some lives within the group pretty soon. And that is about it. Tonight, we're just going to talk about some scary, spooky stuff. And you guys are always, remember this, you are always welcome to throw out any topic in the comments. Because if Lorilei and I know something, we're more than happy to speak about it. And if we don't know anything about it, we are more than honored to go learn about it for the following show. Okay.
Dave, I forgot to throw something in there. I want to say for Michelle Wilfong, I always remember my brain's not working that great. You guys, I'm still sick, 7.5 weeks, so my voice is going to be gone by the end of this. But please check out Michelle Wilfong's TikTok channel of her own and subscribe to her. She lives in a haunted apartment and posts some pretty spooky video that she captures from her own place where she lives. So I forgot to give that a shout out. Should we say hi to everybody, Dave?
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing in the group too. Somebody had posted, they gave me a picture of, they had their child in a crib. And with what they saw was an angel or whatever you might think of it. You guys, if you're in the group, go check it out. I think it's a really good picture. It's a good picture.
It's
go
awesome.
See what you think about it.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome, because that's what the group's for, you guys. If you got questions, you got show ideas, you want us to talk about something we haven't talked about, you picked up some spooky content or you've seen it. I know Nicole Thomas Ryan posted a really interesting video. I'm trying to remember what it was, because she asked our thoughts on it, and I definitely commented on it. I'm going over there right now because I forget exactly what it was, but it was an excellent video. It was good. Oh, sorry, wrong video. I got two groups of my own here. Let's see. Hang on. Oh, now it's saying this content isn't available. Oh, I know what it was. Hang hang on. Okay, it was from hospice nurse Penny, and it was an excellent video. She was talking about some of the unexplainable, incredible things that she's witnessed, and it was a particular situation that she had. And Nicole had thought about asking us any thoughts on that, and I said, as a nurse myself, I can't go back to work physically, but I definitely have seen. I'm writing a book about it and getting firsthand accounts, mainly from nurses, but also first responders and even death doulas, which is a terrible name. Hang on, Dave. That have shared that what they've witnessed as people transition from here back home. Go ahead, Dave.
Was that the video? By the way, you guys, we have a lag between us, so we're not being rude to each other. Don't worry. There was that the one where the lamp flicked as the person? Yeah, that's, I've seen that video before. I think personally, I find it quite credible. I really do. And I think
it's absolutely real. Yeah, I've seen all kinds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that nurse too. She does stuff. You guys would be surprised on how many, and that's good that Lorilei's writing a book on it as well, and how many people in hospice come across these things and they can't explain them, and they're not
even in hospice as a nurse being there.
Just hospitals, yeah.
Because, well, not even in the home. I did death and dying in the home, but when people are transitioning, a lot of things happen that are so unexplainable. Some of the videos that I downloaded tonight, actually, from Nuke's Top 5's latest video. I haven't watched him in a while, but most of them are pretty creepy and spooky. At the end, a little funny. And then Debbie Grassberger Schmoley, I think she goes by Debbie Schmoley now. You guys have heard me talk about when I was talking to her on video quite a few years ago, and I noticed a cat that was see-through on her pillow. And she asked me to take pictures of the screen. Well, it came up in her memory today, her memories. So she sent it to me with her permission. I posted it on my Facebook profile, and I know she's posted it in the group. So you may want to check it out. But let's say hi to everybody. So we got Julie Jean Bassett says, hi, Lorilei, David, and everyone. We got to give Julie a big, huge shout out. Julie is an incredible animal communicator. I've taken my animal communication course with her myself. She's helped me with many of my own animals. And you would believe that this lady knows about healing when it comes to humans and animals, but she's also a pet medium. She's an incredible shamanic practitioner, and I've had a life-changing session with her probably almost 6 months ago, and I'm due for another one, especially with what's gone on this year already. So I will definitely be working with her on that. And we were going to go live over Christmas, and then I came down with this flu. So once I get healthy, and I'm kind of starting to jump into some things back already, so I will definitely be going live with Julie and practicing my animal communication. I forgot to mention too, I don't know if any of you guys know Robert Morningside. Mutual friend of ours, Jaffe Ryder, actually connected me with him, and he'd asked me to be on his podcast. I think it was Monday night at 10 o'clock, but there was no way I could have done that. So I believe I'm going to be on his podcast on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll share it on my social media, because I'm trying to remember what the site is where they stream the show. So we got Michelle Wilfong, like I said, she says heading over to TikTok. Contessa Martins, good evening, Lorilei and David. She's saying hi to everyone. Karen Rose from Washington says hello, Lorilei and David. Howie Odell is here. We got to give Howie a huge shout out. He's a huge supporter of our network, and he has his own network, the Riff Nation Network. And David and I have been on his show a few times on Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the Orion Effect, with his incredible co-host and good friend of myself, Rhonda Harris. So you guys check out his show. Let's see, who else have we got here? We got Social Broad 25. Hi. Oh, it's Jessie. She said, hi, Dave. It's little Jessie. Finally, glad to catch your podcast. I see she's over on TikTok too. We've got Lisa Martinello. We got Joshua Allen Huckle says, hi, Lorilei. And always saying hi to everybody. Karen Rose says, I love hospice nurse Penny. So that's cool. Carrie Crawford is, I think, a new name I haven't seen before, so welcome. And of course, we've got Kasoon Lee. He is over in Sri Lanka, so it's middle of the night over there. So he says, hey, guys. We've got Mort Ali. He says, hello. So welcome to everybody that's here. And don't be shy. Please say hi if you're there. Let's check out Instagram again. We'll check out TikTok. Yeah, just people popping in, popping out. That happens lots on TikTok because, as Dave knows, probably Dave's got a huge TikTok, and people are usually just popping along the lives looking for something that catches their interest. So they pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out.
And pop out. Yeah, the big discussion we've been
sorry.
Big discussion. I was going to say the biggest discussion on mine is people asking about. We're going to do some scary videos. So this is kind of creepy, but people ask me about certain things that happen to people. Like they always want to know about bad people and evil people and all that stuff. It's kind of a really fun subject to talk about because there's so many possibilities of things. I can't pretend that I know every little thing. But that's been going on quite a bit on TikTok. I told somebody they should come check out this because sometimes people get really worried about the paranormal, and you know what? You really don't. I mean, if I'm going to say this to people who ask about paranormal and delving into it, if you feel you want to do protection of something or say something, that is totally fine. And I want you to know that that's probably, for most people in the beginning, it's smart. Lorilei and I, we always say we can always tell where somebody is by what they notice, on their journey. So for the people listening, you said they're going to be here. Doing those spells and all that and playing in the paranormal is not a bad thing. The more we play and the more we discover it, the more it becomes more normal than paranormal.
But I do say to people, and Dave and I don't always agree, because I have had experiences, many with the negative paranormal, not by choice. I never went looking for it. But I do believe that a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. And I'm not saying it's spooky. I agree with Dave. The more that you play in this field, the better. But have somebody mentor you, or you have someone that you can touch base with that knows what they're doing, especially when it comes to magic. Because magic does exist. There's a reason why it's called spelling and TV programming, and we can get into all kinds of things like that. If everything is energy, right? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be moved or transferred from one place to another. That goes right down to the smallest invisible molecule, right up to everything on this planet. So your words, your thoughts, and your emotions have powerful energy behind them. A lot of people are a lot more powerful than what they realize. So, and I know people that do magic, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's great. We've talked about this a couple of weeks ago about how many of the things we've been doing ourselves as human beings actually involves a bit of magic, right, Dave?
Yeah, that's right. Some of our most daily, everyday things, our prayer is magic. Blowing out a candle, that's magic. Just earlier today, Lorilei told me something about her partner, and I said, good luck. That's magic. That's all magic. It's all a form of magic.
Mm-hmm. So Nicole Thomas Ryan, I highlighted you quickly to say hi, but your ears must have been burning. We were talking about you before you got here about the post you had shared with hospice nurse Penny. I don't know if they've removed it or not, though, because it says content not available. But I wanted to share this. Hang on, guys. I'm going to, I didn't plan this or anything like this. How did I send? I ended up sending our video to me. You can tell how dingbatty I still am with everything going on, you guys. So give me a sec. I want to share, if you guys haven't seen this post from Debbie. Now, it's a little hard to see, okay? So I encourage you to go to our group because that's where it's been shared. Or you can also... you can, I believe, look, I've got it on my Facebook profile as well, but it's pretty intriguing here. So give me a sec. I'm going to Facebook if it's going to go there. Give me a sec. Here it is. I don't know how well it'll show up, you guys, because I don't think I've ever shared it from a post from Facebook like this, but we shall see. Hang on, Facebook shared. So I'm going to read the comments if I can see them. Hang on. Oh, you don't need my messenger popping up here. Hang on. StreamYard. Oh, good. It's up there already. Okay, so I shared about this post a little bit, but I'm going to read Debbie's just in case you guys can't see it. So she's here from time to time if she's able to pop in. So she says, yesterday I was talking to my dear friend on a video chat. So this was back on February 20th, 2017. I noticed something moving around. She noticed something moving around quite a bit up by my head on my pillow. And I did not know when I'm about to share the rest of her post. Well, I'll add that after I read this part. She says, she noticed something moving around my head on my pillow. I told her that was my little gray and white cat, Boo, my fur baby I love with all of my heart, would curl up next to my head to cuddle and sleep. She was like my little guardian kitty, angel kitty. Now, I did not know about Boo. I didn't know Boo had passed. I could literally see Boo. Now, the thing is, I can't make it out so much in the pictures because this is a picture of the screen while we were talking live. But Debbie says she can make it out. And the more she's looked at it, she believes there's another one of her cats that had passed away that is actually behind Boo in these pictures. And she mentions we lost Boo to completely unknown causes on May 29th of last year. But even after she passed, I heard her meowing, felt my blanket and pillow go down or move as if she were still right there with me, watching over me. I just knew that she still was. So Lorilei took some photos with her cell phone yesterday of me on her screen and what she was seeing move by me. And I was seeing this cat. It was see-through. I've talked about it so many times on this show, on the Angel Rock, other podcasts I've been on. Like, it was incredible what you could see. And she said, I put my hand in the air as to give Boo scratchies or pet her. The air was warmer there than all around me. I had to wait a few hours to get my pics, but it was so worth the wait. In those photos is my baby girl, Boo. For those of you who don't believe in the afterlife, I feel sorry for you, as God has blessed us with his Holy Spirit. Here's your proof. Debunk this. God bless you all on this beautiful Monday, and may your week be filled with love, joy, and something amazing that will help you to believe. So I'll see if I can pull up the picture. Now, it's kind of hard to see. I don't know if I can make this bigger. Oh, geez, it's going to be hard. I think she I can't remember if she circled it. I'm not going to try and pull it up because it's so far low down. But you guys, I could literally, and I've talked about this, I could see her cat. Like, it was moving all around. I told you I could see it almost. What did I do now? I got rid of Facebook here, or us out of here. You got to love my computer. It just decides to move tabs all over the place. So give me a sec. Sorry. Yeah, it was the most mind-blowing thing. And I've had experiences as well with animals that have passed away. Been hearing them, seeing them, and what have you. Even my son, Justin, he passed away this year, January 15th, unexpectedly. He has made his presence so known. It's irrefutable, and not just to myself, to many other people. Have you ever had that with a pet, Dave, or somebody that you've noticed in the afterlife that is around?
Oh yeah, my Toto is still around. My cat Charlie is still around. Our dogs are still around. Miley is still around. Little Miley, who is sick.
I love
Remember?
Miley. Yes.
Yeah, little Miley, little sweetie. She got overweight and she got pancreatitis, and she passed away from that, and she's around. Yeah, I do. I even have you know what? Speaking of the kind of spookiness, I had moved when I had to move. When I was renting, I moved from one house to the other, and I had two cats in particular that I always take care of stray animals, and two in particular I did not want to leave behind. One, his name was Whisper, because he could barely meow, but that's how he communicated with me. He was really big when I first saw him, but he got really skinny because he caught a pneumonia or a cold or something over one of the winters, and he was getting really skinny. And there was a couple next door who just took off. When her parents died, they just let the cats outside and thought, oh, just let, we don't care. And I thought that was mean and cruel. So I took that cat with them, a very old cat. Anyway, they came with me. I found a house so I could have them. They lived with me for literally 2 weeks. And then they both passed away. And one of them that passed away climbed over the fence that I had him in back and laid down in front of my window outside my bedroom to pass away. And they visited me at that one house that I was at, the last house I was at. They would come outside. They were buried right next door. I had to move from that house to the house next door. And they made their presence known all the time. I don't feel them as much as I used to, but yeah, they always do.
Well, there's two comments. First of all, Joshua says we put our dog down September 9th. She was a 5-year-old boxer. So we're so sorry. Or for anybody else who has lost a loved one. And pets are family. So we're so sorry about that. And Julie says, I've had that with animals all the time, dogs and cats primarily. And I agree. Yeah, like this isn't the first experience. Like I've talked to many people and seen pictures or video they've taken too. Like I truly believe we never really die. You know what?
No, I know we don't. Yeah, we
There's
don't.
something somebody wrote on my Facebook wall. I'm going to see if I can try and find it. It was really profound, and I thought it was such an incredible thing to share. It might take me a minute to find it here, but it was really interesting. I'm going to see if I type a word in here.
Because soon, I'm gonna answer his.
I was going to go ahead and read his comment because I'm going to add to that too.
Okay, yeah. You know what? That's okay. And you know what? There's millions of reasons why we may not have had a paranormal experience ever. Except for when I was a child, I went through a good 20 years of my life not having much of any experiences at all, and it's pretty much because I ignore it. I mean, there's a really good line in the movie Beetlejuice where Lydia says something about only the living can't be seen by the dead unless they're strange and unusual, and that's pretty much it. If you're open to it and you have a strict belief in it, and I think you'll probably see more. And even if you ask, but you got to be careful what you ask for.
And you know what? Just because you haven't had a paranormal experience doesn't mean you might not, or maybe it's not part of your journey when you're here to have one.
Yeah.
So you say, maybe I'm too hard-headed. Maybe you have had paranormal experiences, but you've looked, and I'm not saying it's true, but sometimes by you sharing, and we appreciate that you shared that I'm too hard-headed, something that's occurred that maybe you've debunked that maybe wasn't necessarily debunked. I don't know. But
you made a really good point too. When it is good. If you say maybe you're too hard-headed, that's okay. You may have had these experiences and you've let them go.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're trying to say? Okay. Yeah. So we both agree on that one. Yeah. I wouldn't worry about it. Listen, like Lorilei had said in the beginning of the show, it found her. So she wasn't looking for it. It just showed up, and it did it for a reason, because she does what she does now.
I started this journey though before all the paranormal really happened. I when I'm doing a talk, sometimes I will say what do tattoos and angel cards have to do with one another. I have her permission, but the place where I got my memorial tattoo, I'm trying to show it. Years ago, when my boys were little, like we're talking almost 20 years ago, I'd walked into a tattoo shop to get my first tattoo that's local here. And I think I've told this story. I found the post, by the way, and she had said, "Oh my, you have two very special children." And I said, well, thank you, but all children are special, I believe. She goes, "No, there's something very unusual about them." She said, "Do you mind if I do something with them?" I said, "Well, as long as you're not going to hurt them." And I was watching her like a hawk. Well, I now know she was using the crystals that we call mochi balls. They work together, and she was kind of tapping them all around my boys. And then she looked up at me and she said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean? What do I do?" And she said, "Yeah, there's something about you. Like, are you drawn or interested in anything?" And I said, "Well, I've always loved unicorns and angels and fairies." And she said, "Hang on." And she ran in the back, came back with this box, and she handed it to me. And I said, "What is this?" And she said, "You'll know." And I said, "Well, what do I do with it?" "You'll know." And I said, "Well, when do I give it back to you?" And she said, "You'll know." And it was angel cards, angel oracle cards. And that's kind of where this all started, me really pursuing this. And then we had the paranormal experience not long after, a couple of years later. So I'm going to read this post, Dave, if that's okay.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so somebody wrote this after Justin had passed away, and I had shared it on social media. Her name is Jennifer. I hope I get your last name right. Polhemus. And the only reason I felt comfortable reading it out loud is it's on a public post. So she said, "The first law of creation is that you exist, and in some form you always will. Can't change that. If the universe was a house, Justin would be in another room. May he visit you in your dreams and ease the horrible pain that his passing has left on your heart. You will always be connected. Actually, I'm going to read the rest of the message. It is beautiful. She said, I'm so sorry for the pain this has caused you. May the Holy Mother Mary watch over you, protect you, and give you comfort during this difficult time. Then she offered her guest house in Hawaii. She's never even met me before. I just thought it was so sweet. But the way she described it, right? I thought it was perfect because people think heaven is way up in the sky, and it's just like another dimension, another.
It is. Yeah, it is. Carrie, did you see Carrie's thing? You should look up the next room. It's about death. There's a thing about the next room. Yeah, you see that? Yeah, there's a thing about the next room. That's how I've been telling people for years, that I always told people, it's literally like getting up out of a chair and going to sit in another one. It's literally like being in the next room. Because as Lorilei was saying so eloquently, and what that lady said, everything, it's really, really hard. I mean, if you start going into metaphysics, it'll make more sense. Or but quantum physics. Everything is here. Like Lorilei said, heaven's not up in the sky. Everything is right next to us. Everything. The sun is literally, we're right next to it. Everything is here. Space and time are malleable after here.
So I forgot to say hi. Jennifer M says hello. Oh, Julie, this is beautiful. We'll read some of these comments. So she said, I tried to help a lost Great Pyrenees, which ended up dying before he could be found. And he came to me and rubbed against my leg. I could feel his fur against my leg. So that would be in spirit form. And then she just added, sending love, prayers, and healing light to all those that have lost their fur babies recently.
What Julie was said about that, especially with pet communicating, that reminded me. I did a lady they couldn't find their dog, and the dog was returned to him, and the dog, passed away. But the lady didn't tell me that. But anyway, the dog showed me that he was wandering around. He got out of their car. And they had to drive away. They couldn't find him. It was like in another state, another country, and another state. They were on vacation thing. The dog got out. They couldn't find it. They thought he just died. They was there looking forever. The dog ran around the forest forever and ever and ever. And somebody had found the tag, got hold of them. They returned the passed away dog to it. But the dog had told me, which was so beautiful, that it wasn't alone. It was literally when it got lost, there was like guys it's that dog, I guess, like angels and all that, because the dog showed all this really cool things. And because the lady needed to know that her dog did not suffer, and it didn't. So it was really cool that dog came up and said thank you like that.
Well, we had actually, this was last summer. I was sitting out on my front steps minding my own business. I try not to, I'm kind of in my own little world as I'm grounding and connecting to nature. And all of a sudden I could hear all these vehicles stopping and people, like loud voices. And I look up and I see this poor little cat at the end of a driveway of my neighbor, 3 doors away, and a girl crying and a bunch of people crying and holding one another. And this poor woman, oh, she's so lovely. She actually added me on Facebook, and this poor little kitty, she had hit him by accident. And people were just frantic. Nobody knew what to do. So I went and grabbed something to cover him up. I knew it wasn't going to be long, but I kept praying that the angels, obviously it's between whatever the being is and source for people listening when it's their time to leave. But I didn't want this little one to be in too much pain because he couldn't walk. And he went very quickly. But as I grabbed his collar, this is what reminded me of what you just said. I seen there was a long distance number on there. And so I called, and it sounded like this woman was asleep. It was about 11 o'clock in the morning. What a terrible phone call I ended up having to make. This lady was in Utah, which is 3 hours away from us. Somehow she had been driving through our city here. It's called Thunder Bay in Canada. And her kitty got out the last day. And she stayed and she looked and she looked and she looked and she could not find him. So I had to tell her that her poor kitty, his name was Dickens. So he had been gone almost 6 months, I think. And I had asked her, did you want me to take a picture? I wasn't going to take any, so she could see his face, because she was worried, like, had somebody stolen him or long story short, she said, I guess he had lost a lot of weight and must have been on his own the whole time. But that reminded me, their poor little pet had gotten out. Thank God they had a caller. So I could at least call her and tell her. So Connie says, I wish I felt my tiger around, but to be honest, since she passed, I have not felt her around. And Connie, think you said you had her for 24 years. That's a long time for a cat. But what I'm feeling and picking up, sweetie, is, and I think it's part of the grieving process. Actually, somebody that's a friend of mine asked me this recently, are you connecting with your son on the other side? And, it was an honest question and coming from a good place, not a bad place. They just had said, I don't know how that works, say, with mediums and families. And so I sort of explained that when we connect to the other side, we have ourselves grounded in any higher state of frequency, if you will. So focusing, I know you know all this, Dave, for people listening.
I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. But
to be in a higher vibrational state, it's called grieving. And that's nothing you can do about that, but it puts you in a much lower vibrational state. So you may not necessarily be picking up on and feeling your loved, whether it's your fur baby, a loved one around you. But believe me, they are around you. They hear you, so you can talk to them like you always did. You can think things that they will pick up and hear. So I believe, honestly, Connie, getting to know you a little bit, that give it some time. Go ahead, David. I can hear you.
I'm with you on that. Give it some time. I have to tell you, grief and stuff. I always tell people, grief is like swimming through pea soup. It's really thick, and they have to lower their vibration when we bring ours up. And everything that I've ever talked to is always saying, yeah, we're there. We're saying hi. And you know what? A lot of times in your dreams, they are talking to you, but you just don't remember. Give it some time, like Lorilei said. And you know what? When I was younger, every family member that passed away, I was the one who had the dream. Every grandparent with a wonderful, beautiful message, except one of my grandparents. One of my grandparents would not come through. And it was the one he passed away about 15 years ago. He would not come through, did not come through. I would get nothing from him. And it actually took till he started coming through after my NDE, because at my NDE, I saw all four of my grandparents and they were there. And then they started showing themselves at picnic tables and having fun and everything else. I don't know why that is. I don't question it. It just happens when it happens.
Everything happens when it's meant to happen.
Yeah, it is. It really is divine timing, and that's not a cop-out. You'll find when you go through your life, everything you've been through was divinely timed. Everything worked out exactly the way it should, and it will forever. So, if you want to speed it up with your animal, I always suggest grab a picture, sit in a chair, look at the picture, and smile, and remember the happy things you've had.
And talk to them.
Yeah, talk out loud. Talk like a crazy person.
Ask them before you go to bed, especially, would be a good time to connect with that picture, because pictures hold the energy of our loved ones that are in the picture still, and talk to them. Ask them to come to you. Ask them to, come and have a visit with you, because the other thing is our loved ones, I think, know from the other side whether or not we're able to actually, especially in a state of grief, to be able to handle that visit, if you will, because I think the reason why the things that we've been seeing and experiencing, and again, it's not just myself, it's been other people. I think that, I don't know, maybe because I'm open to it, I'm aware of it, I know I'm not making it up. I just take it as an experience. Like, for example, the first Thursday show that we did, I don't even know if I told you about this, Dave. I might have. My son always wore cut off headphone buds in his ears because his hearing was so sensitive, but he usually only put them in at bedtime. And I had one of those really cute little pill cases that open up like a box, and they had a little light. And he always kept them in that box. 5 minutes before we went live, I moved my dog's pillow that's at the end of the bed, and there was one of his earbuds at the end of the bed. The box is still closed on his nightstand in his room. I have no idea how it got there. He did not have them in here when this had happened or before, but there's been things like that that are very unmistakable that have happened, that have been definite signs that I know he knows, I would know that this is most definitely him.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Soon I think this is interesting. You said, I don't feel energy from things like Reiki too, even though other people say otherwise. You know what? That's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're not receiving the energy, that you're not, whatever it may be, right? And sometimes, especially, and I'm going to go with what you posted here, that you're hard-headed. So sometimes when we're a little bit more skeptical, David is a skeptic too. I am a skeptic, but I know my loved one that I live with is very skeptical. And it takes a lot to convince him that something paranormal has necessarily happened or whatever it may be. But it still doesn't mean, just because you're not picking up on it and feeling it, that it hasn't occurred or it hasn't happened, including Reiki.
Very true.
That's just energy work that's being done. For example, I love crystals and I work with crystals, but I am not affected by crystals in any way, shape, or form.
See, I'm with Lorilei. Except for one crystal, I'm not affected by them. I don't feel the buzz. I don't feel anything. I just intuitively know. And the same with Reiki. Kasoon, don't feel bad. I do not feel Reiki. I do Reiki, and I learned Reiki, and I've given Reiki, and people say they can feel it, but I'm one of those ones where I can't feel it when it's there. Although, guess what? I am aware of the benefits afterwards. I'm aware of what it did.
I've had weird things happen when I've had Reiki done to me. The person with the tattoos and what are angel cards and tattoos, she is actually a dental assistant, her muggle job, but she does energy work, angel cards, and Reiki. I remember one time I was in her room, one of the first sessions, and I never had this happen to me. Like, she literally was sweating and she could pick up how busy my mind is, because that is busy. It's going 100 miles a minute. And I swear to God to you, she had a Chinese lantern hanging from the ceiling in front of the window. No fans. Window wasn't open. That thing was swinging. Yeah. There was stuff, like things were moving in the room. That's how much energy was moving. I wasn't picking up a lot of stuff. I felt the benefit afterward, less pain, but nothing while it was happening.
Yeah, that's me. Same way. Now, Kasoon, you did say something very, it says, I think I'm really earthbound in the ego. And see how many times I say I in my comments. You just caught yourself, Kasoon. Listen very carefully. In the law of assumption that I study, whatever you assume you are, or assume the feeling of, is what is going to be. When we say stuff like, when spiritual people, when we do the I ams, we are declaring, I am healthy. I am this. You're putting out that I can't feel this. I don't know. So that's, you just try changing the narrative and see if it works. I can't guarantee it will, but it might.
I am open to the experience of feeling, say Reiki when you have it done. Yep. No expectations. Just I am open to receiving as well as experiencing Reiki, whatever form it comes in. For example, same as the paranormal. I am open to experiencing, you can say, life wherever you are outside, something unusual, something whatever. Just be open to it, because ego does have a big thing. And I love one of my mentors said this, because I used to get told by many mentors, and we do in this field, you must banish the ego. You cannot banish your ego. So how she had done it with the Akashic Records course I took, and I love it, is to actually invite the ego part of yourself to be a curious participant on the sidelines. So it's not left out, and it sounds crazy, but it's still there. It's acknowledged. Okay, it's there. We're not asking for that part of participation, and the ego will pop in. It will. It's usually when you doubt yourself, or you say, no, that couldn't have happened, or it's a coincidence, or whatever it is, right? Yep. But just being open to the experience with no expectations, you're going to be very surprised, I think, at what will happen, including before you have it done. If the person can help you to ground before, great. Or if you're capable of grounding yourself before you go, you may have a different experience.
Yeah, I tell you, you know what? There's one thing. I used to be skeptical of Kundalini until I went through the Kundalini thing and it happened. It was holy cow. That's I don't know if anybody's ever had that happen yet. Mm-hmm. That one bowled me over. I can still remember the day it happened. I can still remember the feelings of it.
And yet I've talked to many other people who've had Kundalini experiences. Now, I don't know if I have or I haven't. Some it's very profound. Some people have described it as
Yeah,
painful.
some people it's not.
And
Yeah.
for me, if the only way maybe I could describe it is feeling almost energy and light and heat and going it back. It was for me the whole spine, like right up the
Yeah,
back.
yeah. See that I got that. You just didn't. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because that was my whole thing. It went up the spine, but oh my God, I was shaking so hard. It's almost like Kundalini was going, "Just take it, David. Stop resisting, you idiot." That's kind of what it felt like.
So Connie, we'll have to go back and check that. Thank you for noticing. She said, as you were reading that post, I'm guessing the one from the girl that had shared about, and when we're no longer Earthside, that we're in another room. Please let me know or if it was Debbie's, because I think you're talking about the second post that I had shared. Carrie, thank you for sharing about the book too. You had mentioned it's written by Henry Scott Holland, and that was the one you were talking about, something about in the next room. Okay, you spoke up in the next room. Yeah, I'm going to highlight that. I know you said it, Dave, but she had said it's about death, but akin to nothing has changed because they are just in the next room. I'll have to find it. So thank you for sharing that. We've got some great posts, you guys. I guess I always forget our station ID. So if you're tuning in, you are listening to The Thing at the Foot of the Bed. I think I even forgot to tell them the name of our show. I just told them the network when we started.
While you're doing that, I do have to hit my inhaler real quick.
Okay, you go ahead. So you're listening to or watching The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with myself, Lorilei Potvin, and David Hanzel. And sorry, I got distracted there for a sec. And you can listen to us on 105.3 out of Mississippi FM or 107.7 FM out of New Orleans, Louisiana. But we do broadcast anywhere. We mentioned many of the places actually at the beginning of the show, as well as anywhere where talk radio or podcasts are carried. Even the most minute, smallest app I have found up to the biggest platforms, you will find all replays of all of our shows on the network. Because a lot of people pop in and say, oh no, I missed the end of your show, or the show, I just got the end. No, we always have a replay of our shows. Plus, David, I know I back her show up. I think Dave does too on his YouTube channel. It's on Facebook. Julie says, yes, animals have guides too. Hi, Sandra Kramer. I just saw you there. You said hello. Julie, you said, I agree. After some of the grief lifts, then you can connect with your past fur baby. So that was for you, Connie. And Julie says, yeah, they are always around. And I agree. I've met people that work in this field that'll tell you they're not, but I truly believe our loved ones are with us always. The minute we think of them, they are with us. They are not limited by a body or in the human vehicle that we occupy as a soul energy when we're on Earth, when we're Earthside. You can be anywhere. You are not limited, and in a gazillion different places at once. So trust and know that they are with us. Connie says she passed in 2013, but I think of her often. I don't know if you're back yet, Dave. If you are, as soon as I see your camera, come on. Sorry, he's in the green room there. I wasn't sure if he's back or not. Try that if you're open to it and you do want to have a visit with her, or even sometimes adding even extra energy, like we said, the picture, or even writing to her as you're looking to the picture, speaking it out loud, all of that. And yeah, and you never know, like she could have already, well, I don't think we're limited. You'll get people that'll say, well, I can't contact so-and-so that's a loved one on the other side. They've already incarnated. And Dave and I have talked about this. We're all both of the belief that it's not because you've incarnated that we still can't reach the higher self on the other side. Right, Dave? We still should be able to connect with them.
Oh, yeah, you can. There's an old adage where there's a lot of mediums would say, oh, I can't get hold of them because they're incarnated already. And no, because you're actually, I don't want to make it a long subject, but actually all of our past lives are going on right now.
We've talked about that. And we both agree with that. Yeah. Past, future lives, all of it's going on at the same time.
At the same time, yeah.
So let's see. Nicole says, I see yellow and black butterflies when my grandmother is around. Also hear Bob Whitebirds, I think she's saying. So, and that's a beauty in it. And I really believe this, that we have a team with us when we come here, including our loved ones that are no longer in physical form, whether it may be a fur baby or it may be, one of our human being loved ones. Okay. And I think that if they're meant to work with you, which I think they do, if you notice, like what you just shared, Nicole, that they will send you more of that because you've made that connection, you've made that realization. And I'm going to go back to another story so you guys know that it's not just me. My next door neighbor, she is almost finished third year university for nursing, and Justin and her 9-year-old were very, very close, and her son is very high functioning on the spectrum. Anyways, she messaged me a couple of weeks ago, and she said, I think I've heard that if you find dimes in the middle of nowhere, like they're not, it wasn't there and all of a sudden it is, that it could be somebody from the other side. And I said, yes, I believe that. And she said, well, I think it's Justin. And she was so sweet. She said, I feel so honored. And I said, well, I'm not surprised. I said, he loved you guys so much. And so she messaged me it was a couple weeks ago, and with school and working full time, she'd finally, I guess, getting around to get a Christmas tree down. We had just taken ours down like a couple days before. I like to sometimes call it the Great White North Palm Tree if it doesn't get taken down till late. Anyways, on the tree skirt, I think the way she had explained it, they were taking stuff down from the tree, and obviously she could see the tree skirt, and she'd walked away for something and come back, and she said right in the middle of the tree skirt was a dime. There was no reason for the dime to be there. They didn't have money out. It didn't fall from the tree. And again, I think now that they've made that connection.
We have. I've looked into that more and more, and I'm studying it more and more. And it's like, it's not like the dime is actually there. It's actually there, and you can actually touch it, and you can actually put it up. They insert that dime into your experience because I don't know how it's done.
If you look into the skull experiments, though, and if people haven't, it's fascinating. I think the documentary is on YouTube, and it was done many years ago in the UK, making the study of metaphysics and the other side and what have you. They had many things appear out of nowhere that would just fall on the table. And again, I guess it's one way of looking at it, that it's there, but it comes into physical form due to manipulation by the other side. I just like to think of it as, you know what, they made it show up and it's there.
I'd like, you know what, sometimes I don't want to know, because I still, just even though I can do what I do, I still appreciate the unknown magic. You know what I'm saying? I like Sandra Kramer.
I'm looking. How far
it's
down?
At the very bottom.
I'm sorry, Sandra.
I'm sorry, Sandra. Yeah, my son of 19 months passed. I'm seeing angel numbers for about a year now. I'm just believing it is him saying hello. It is. Listen, we will both. There's one thing. Lorilei and I both absolutely agree on this one. Mm-hmm. When you come to us and you ask, hey, I've seen this and I think it's this person, that's the key right there. It's how you feel. You don't need to ask us. We don't always know. I've had people ask me, does my grandma leave signs, and my grandma do this and that? And I'll ask grandma, do you do anything? And she's like, I do all kinds of stuff. And it's whatever you feel. That's what it is happening. So I will tell you, from a medium's point of view, 120 billion%, it is your son just saying, I'm here.
Well, plus on top of it, that one of the questions I will ask someone if they ask me, this and this happened, was it my insert loved one? Mm-hmm. And I'll always ask them, how did it make you feel? What did you think? And again, just what Dave said, then you don't need my confirmation. You already know. And again, I'm very sorry about the loss of your son, Sandra. Thank you for sharing that.
Sandra, that works for dreams as well. When people always try to decipher their dreams, I mean, there's books on dreams, and yes, there's symbols and there's common symbols and so on and so forth. But even for interpreting dreams, it's how did you feel about it? Because a house to me might mean something different to a house to Lorilei, and the feeling I get from it than the feeling she gets from it. I always tell people, don't go as much by what you see in your dreams, but what did it make you feel? And it's the same.
If you take a journal, I always suggest, and I've got tons of them here, is keep a journal by your bedside. Yeah. Before your feet hit the ground, if you can, jot down, you don't have to write an essay, just a few key points, because as you go back over them and you look through your notes, something that made absolutely no sense to you may very well make a lot of sense as you go back on your notes. Plus, the other thing is the best person to interpret your dreams, what Dave is saying too, and I agree, is you. You've experienced the life you've been in. You're connected to your higher self, and the way it's interpreting what you're going through or what you're picking up. You are the best person to interpret it.
Yeah. Kasoon said, what's the difference between...
I'm getting there. I was just going to read Carrie. Carrie's comment first.
Okay.
Do you want to read Carrie's comment first?
Oh, yeah, there you go. When I started using frequencies and singing bowls, it really opened me up to energies. Things work differently for each of us, but I would recommend. Sound and vibration, I think it's almost universal. And if you ever have a hard time getting connected to something, sound and vibration is a really good thing to do. I mean, look at you will rarely come across a human being that says, I hate music. It's rare.
True. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's something in sound is frequency. I mean, literally, if you look at it, your life is like a symphony. It's your life is playing different parts of a symphony. Everything's got a different vibration to it. So I agree with you on that.
And you're a tuning rod. So I used to be hearing this all the time, that you've got to raise your vibration, but we're talking about energy, right? And so when we're connecting to the other side, just as Sandra said, yes, she knows it's her son. When she experiences what she shared, she knows this already. Yeah. But that's how we tune into the other side. That's why I said earlier that when we do this kind of work, we make sure we're grounded. We make sure our frequency is raised, because when we're connecting to the other side, they're coming from a very high frequency. So I'm humanizing this, but they almost have to lower their frequency. We have to raise ours to meet in the middle, but it's almost like we're tuning into the right radio station, if you will, by raising your vibration. Katie says, hi to all. And then she says, woo, this syncs in dreams. So Kasoon. And I was hoping Julie was going to put this in here. And
yeah, I have a little different answer than Julie's. It's about the same.
Let's just finish here. So Kasoon says, what's the difference between Reiki and shamanic healing? And then we all will probably add our own 2 cents. But Julie, well, let me finish, please, Dave. Julie says she is a shamanic practitioner. Julie, I forget who else you're working with right now, but she's worked with Alberto Veloto and graduated from his program, and she's now working with a different mentor as well. So she said, Kasoon, there are many types of energy healing. Shamanic energy healing is based on Native Americans and other indigenous cultures. Reiki was developed by a man, I can't remember his name, and there are other types of energy healing, such as acupuncture, is a type of energy healing as well. So what did you want to add, Dave? Sorry.
For me, Reiki is an energy that comes from a consciousness out here. It's Reiki is the energy. That's what it is. The energy is called Reiki. And there are different ways to practice Reiki. And there's like holy fire Reiki or different ways of bringing it up. But it's basically you're using that energy. Now, for me, the shamanic stuff is what Julie Jean says. Also, for me, that energy, the healing that comes from shamanic, is very, very earth-grounded, nature-based. It has everything to do with the earth and the sky and the directions and all this other thing. That's what shamanic energy is for me. It's very, very nature-bound. It's very pure. It's connected to man. It's connected to everything else. Where Reiki is kind of like pinpointing that energy.
So for me, I always say to people when I do crystal Reiki with people and I work with people's chakras and their aura and crystals and certain symbols that are associated with crystal Reiki, but it's not me that's doing the healing. I always call myself the male person. So to me, it is being the channel that is providing the love and light and healing from source or the universe, whatever you want to call it. And through the symbols and being that channel, and we are then passing it along to the person that has come for the session. With shamanic practitioner work, and I'm definitely not somebody rather than being a recipient, but I can tell you also that it works a lot with your soul and soul pieces, and there's many different types of healing modalities that are called in that are energy based as well, and it's quite a comprehensive field. But again, I do agree very much with Julie and you too, David, with the fact that yes, it is, can be nature-based as well. And so Julie says the same thing. I'm the channel. My guides do all the heavy lifting. And she said, I am also working with Joan Parisi Wilcox. Thank you. I forgot her name. So she said to learn the Andean mountain energy healing. So it just depends. And that's why there's different practitioners for different types of energy healing. And like, even though we may all do it differently, I always think that the people that are meant to find us and work with us, or we work together, that's why we find one another. It's sort of what we both need.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. We are not the ones healing. We are only facilitating it. We are the ones, as Julie said, we are the middleman.
Yeah, or I said the mailman. Basically, I'm the mail person.
Yeah.
Just I'm delivering whatever you're open to receiving and whatever is being channeled and shared in the way of the love, the light, and the healing energy that is coming from source. So Lisa Martinello said, I've had dreams with past loved ones. I've also felt the presence of cats for babies that have passed. I also received an email from my late husband after he had passed. Oh, Lisa, that's beautiful. Please tell us more, because I think that's the first time I've heard you share that. That's pretty cool. So hang on, let's go down a little further. Hi, Jonathan Keyworth, welcome. So Kasoon says, I just chat GPT the difference between Reiki and shamanic, LOL. Because I said to it, you are Anna and you're a girl, and now it thinks it's a girl named Anna. I said in a summary, or I think it said in a summary, Reiki is, let's see, I think he's still typing. Julie's laughing at Kasoon. And Katie said, better as we are blessed with it by doing yet. It's not the reason we are doing it. Yes, I agree too. But you know what? We're going to talk about healing. I think that anything that we share with the rest of humanity, and that includes the creatures on the planet, and it either is providing joy, happiness, love, making somebody's life a little bit brighter, that can all be considered forms of healing. Like, a lot of people don't consider that music, as David mentioned earlier, about, there's not many people you run into that don't love some form of music or art or many other things. I think that if we are being in service to others, and especially by utilizing the gifts and talents that each one of us have been blessed with, in a sense, you're providing some type of healing, right? Especially if it lifts someone's spirit or makes them feel loved, cared for, brings them to a better state of joy than they were when you first, encountered them. I don't know. That's how I kind of feel.
Yeah. Whatever it is, it's your party. You're the host. Yeah. You get to decide what goes on.
Okay. So Kasoon, you're saying that and Chat GPT says that Reiki is very structured, passive, and shamanic energy.
That's why I said it's direct. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that necessarily, but I can just tell you from my own experience doing Reiki that not every session is structured, and I kind of go with what I pick up from spirit, the way I do things. Sometimes, especially with my more regular clients that I work with, and I will always tell them, I wouldn't just say this, I receive their, if they're open to it, that sometimes we'll experiment with things a little bit and change things around a little bit and try a few things up and down with it. And especially with Crystal Reiki, a lot of that is intuitive, because besides the 15 symbols that you work with, you're working with crystals, and you're intuitively putting in the crystals that you feel from spirit to help balance the chakras. I need to make a video. I've said this for so many years. I need to make a video to show people what's involved with it. But I have had regular Reiki too. That would make sense, I think, maybe a little bit more structured. What do you think?
I guess it really does depend on the kind. Like, I took Holy Fire Reiki, and so it's like you said, we have the symbols that we use and everything, and it's very structured, but there is room for you to go off that. You have to intuitively go off it. You can't stay in it. The only thing that I think that is direct is the Reiki energy itself, just because I name it Reiki. It's Reiki. That's the energy. With shamanic practices, though, like the Julie G said with shamanic things, I agree with her. There's different shamanic cultures too. So it's really hard you can't put anything shamanic into one category, because it's.
But they also think that when you what you've learned, and then you incorporate working with spirit, what works best with the kind of healer that you are. So you're kind of given a baseline, and then you develop a style and a way that you do things. I wanted to add for Jennifer, are either of you offering crystal healing classes? Because I want to learn more. Yes. Leanne Clark, who I call the Crystal Wizardress, she is a crystal architect on Facebook and YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. Her and I are putting together a course that is going to be multifaceted. Should have started in March, but with what's happened, it looks like it's going to be more maybe towards the end of May. But I can tell you that Leanne is working on, we're going to break it up into components, and Leanne is working on the most incredible crystal course that I would encourage anybody to sign up for, because I'm telling you, that girl is amazing. There's a reason why I call her the Crystal Wizardress. I know Julie Jean Bassett will definitely back me up on that one. And so yes, we are going to be offering that as part of the course that we're teaching. I don't know about you, Dave. You know anybody that, are you doing any kind of
I don't know. I don't do any of that. I don't do that. Not because I don't. It's just not my calling. So no, I don't really know anybody. I want to go back to shamanism too. Shamanism isn't just always American Indian either.
No.
So, because there's Tibetan shaman, and
that's why I highlighted Julie's comment.
Yeah, that's okay. So she said it too. Yeah, it's all over the place. It's really, I guess if I put it down there, if I look at it, it's hard to even say what the differences are, because it's everything's so different. I think it is perception a bit too. It's a bit of perception as well too, and how you do it. I know there is structured things within these things, but I think you can. I think
that's like anything in life, Dave. Though, like, right?
Yeah, you can change it.
You take a course, you get the basics, and you know what it is. But as you bring it into real life in the workplace, whatever that may be, you adapt things that work best for you, maybe leave things that don't resonate quite so much with yourself, and be open to always learning and picking up new things and learning.
Exactly, you do. You do. I remember I was going to take a class in a shaman class. But anyway, she lived, I'm not going to say her name. She lived in North Carolina here. And I didn't go at the last minute because I got this. You know how you get that there's something wrong with this person, something's off. But this person was saying stuff, and I was like, oh, it's just not the person I need to go to. So I never went to it. I don't know if she's still doing it or not. But be careful. Go to whoever you feel you need to go to. And like we and Lorilei always say, learn from a lot of different people and learn a lot of different ways, because it's beautiful. Everything, there's so much to know.
So Julie's vouching. She says, love Leanne. Leanne is amazing. She is a crystal guru. And then she said, she's saying exactly what you did about shamanism already too, Dave, in the chat. She's saying, what I'm learning from Joan Wilcox is a lot different from what I learned from Alberto Villoldo. And they both teach types of South American shamanism. So it's not even First Nations.
Yeah, it's not even. Yeah, it's all different.
Mm-hmm. So shall we share some of these videos? I was kind of surprised by them from, I haven't looked at Nuke's top 5 in a while. And they had some interesting videos on here. So hang on, we'll see if it's sharing it right away. Is it? Come back up here. Oh, it did. I pulled it up right away. Let me see. The first couple ones are kind of short. Is this the one I wanted to show? Not this one. Weird. Oh, this one, it was really weird. I don't know if it's the first one, but we'll have to stop it in between you guys for, what is it? God, my brain just went blank. Basically with YouTube, so that we're using fair practice.
Fair right or fair use, something.
Fair use. I said for practice. My brain is not working, so thank you, David.
You're welcome. I had to think about it too for a second, and it hit me at the last minute.
Okay, so hang on here. This is the first one.
On March 6, 2015, Jennifer Grossbeck was driving home with her 18-month.
This is kind of interesting, I thought. So you guys see what you think. Kind of goes in line with kind of what we've been talking about, not about shamanic practitioners and Reiki, but it was interesting. So see what you think.
Old daughter Lily secured in her car seat in the back. While driving along a lonely road in Utah, Jennifer lost control of her SUV and crashed off the side of a bridge, flipping her car upside down into the freezing water of the Spanish Fork River. Most of the car was submerged in the icy water, and tragically, Jennifer Grosbeck passed away almost instantly. However, luckily the car was positioned in a way that Jennifer's 18-month-old baby Lily was not plunged into the freezing water. The baby was held in place in her car seat in the back. Many hours later, the car is spotted in the river, and emergency first responders arrive on the scene.
Go ahead.
Oh, guys, did it start with it?
Starting today, anyone can monitor.
Never fails an ad, so give me one thought. There we go. Oh, now I got to turn the volume back on.
What have you got? What have you got?
But as the police and firemen approached the car, they heard something that they really can't explain.
We heard something saying, help us inside. And so it was at that point that we, said we have to get in that car now. And we all, the four of us, were able to push the car on its side. And that's when I looked inside and was able to see the child infant strapped in the back seat.
Anybody hear us? Hello? Oh, God, there's a baby.
Oh, fuck. There's a bear, Brian. Pass her up, pass her up. Pass her up. Here, right. Go. She's definitely hypothermic. She's freezing.
Go up in there.
Here, go. Let's go.
So you actually heard a voice calling out, help me. Do you know who that was?
We assumed, or I assumed, that it was someone in the car saying, help me. That's why we responded saying, we're trying, we're going to get inside and help you. We're doing the best we can.
We're helping, we're coming.
It wasn't until after we flipped it that we saw the mother, who we know now was deceased at the time, and the child was in the back seat.
Even stranger. Although all four of the early responders said that they heard the strange, unexplained voice of a woman pleading for help, the officers' body cameras did not pick up any voice at all.
Here, get over here, Beddoes. We're helping, we're coming.
To me, it was plain as day, because I remember hearing a voice. It didn't sound like a child. Just saying, help me.
Jennifer Grosbeck's family believes that it was the voice of Jennifer's spirit, calling out from the great beyond to try to urge the emergency workers to hurry to save her baby daughter, Lily.
She was just a very compassionate and caring person. She always wanted to bend over backwards for her loved ones. She loved Lily with all her heart. She was the love of her life.
The emergency team that was on the scene says that they simply can't explain what they heard.
We're helping, we're coming.
The thing down the hall. Oscar Nunez.
So what did you guys think of that?
I personally believe, because especially since the baby was unresponsive and the woman was already dead, I mean, I do not see a woman would. Her spirit could still be saying, yeah, help. My baby still needs to participate in this world. Help, get here. So I believe it was mom for calling from spirit.
Kassoon just said, oh God. And Julie said, I got the chills. Julie says, I believe it too. I most definitely believe it.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty interesting video. Lisa says, Lisa Martinello, I believe it is possible. Well, especially it has a little bit more authority in the fact that it was police officers and fire and rescue there, and 4 people all heard it. It was interesting that their body cams didn't pick it up. But
because the spirit could have been speaking soul to soul, so they might have been hearing it with their physical ears. But you know how sometimes, Lorilei, do you know how sometimes, and probably Julie too, how sometimes when we're doing our work and we hear that voice, even though nobody else heard it, we heard it and it sounded like it came.
Yeah, but 4 people, I could see maybe
that's what I mean.
Maybe 2, but 4.
I think spirit is strong. Spirit could say it loud. Say, all 4 of you got to hear this. Everybody's got to hear it. So I believe that she did it. Yeah. See, yeah.
Oh, I believe her voice was there. It just meant that I think it holds a little bit more weight for non-believers.
Yeah.
So baby wasn't, I don't know if she was unresponsive. So
they said that she was,
they
the
said
baby
she was getting hypothermic, which means she was extremely cold.
Oh, okay. She wasn't out yet. Okay.
No, she was extremely cold. That's what hypothermic means. So the mom had already passed away, but still an 18-month-old baby could not use a woman's voice yelling, help me, help us.
No, that wasn't, that was,
yeah.
I think
So
it was the baby.
I thought it was pretty profound. Here's the whole. I was really surprised. It's been a long time since.
It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. It's sad, but that's a good ending. It's like that just goes to prove that sometimes when our time is done, maybe the other person's time isn't done. They need to stay, and that's maybe what she was trying to get them to hurry up.
Well, yeah, it could have been a contract before. It could have been many things, but it was a beautiful story. I was just about to say, though, it's been a long time since I've seen a Nuke's top 5, which usually ends up being top 10, and that all the videos are pretty good. So Katie says, Mom may have passed and screamed for her life's help for her daughter, as yet bittersweet indeed. Well, yeah, like it sounds like Mom passed away instantly with the crash. So I would guess they'd probably know that if from the autopsy or well, I don't want to get too graphic here, but believe me, medical personnel would know.
Wouldn't know. And spirits do stick around sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Not all, but some do. Some stay for a long time. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you as a mother, if that was myself, I wouldn't have been leaving till I knew my child was safe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this
she had a reason to stay behind, a really good reason.
Well, yeah, or voice from beyond. We just said, right? Our loved ones never really leave us if they're just in the next room, right? Or across the veil, if you will, different dimension. Hang on before I go on, because Connie's got an interesting question. She says, what do you think about everyone being on their cell phones today, but yet our phones don't pick up ghost activity or supernatural energies more? I would think we'd be able to pick up more. Well, I don't know about that, because I think a lot more gets caught on camera than ever did before we use a phone. But I can also tell you, and I haven't put it on my phone, and I should. I have a crystal called, some people say shungite, I call it shungite, which is supposed to help with some of the EMF energy that comes from the phone. But I think that as human beings, yes, we are more in tune to pick up things. But even look at the shows that David and I do. How many EVPs have come through? Weird things. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
No. I was agreeing with you completely. Another thing too is, and if you really think about it too, sometimes things are meant to be more subjective for people. It's meant to be more personal for them because the experience was supposed to be for them. And you got to remember that everybody's life, as you're looking out, you're creating your own life. So everything Lorilei sees outside of her is her life that she sees. Everything outside mine is mine. I don't know if you're saying why can't we pick that up? I mean, we do, but I think it's kind of like when people say, I seen an apparition and this and that and the other thing. They're not as common as you think. I mean, there's a lot of them, but it's not like every 5 minutes of the day.
Mm-hmm. But I also think, you sort of touched on this with your comment, Dave, that everything happens for a reason. I have been in a room before where maybe I've seen something, or for example, with the way we started this show with Debbie, when I was talking to her, it was 8 years ago. And we were on video chatting. I didn't know about her cat, Boo. I didn't know anything about it. And I was already doing the spiritual work but I could literally see the see-through cat on the pillow next to her. And it was grooming itself. Then I remember telling her, now it's flicking its tail. And then she said, I remember her saying, take a picture. And I'd never saved the pictures because I had an old computer at the time. And I often regretted that. I mean, I could have just messaged Debbie and asked her, but she had the picture. So it was just so sweet. I thought today of all days that it came up in her memory, like memories on Facebook, and she sent it to me. And I thought, oh, good. I told her. So I got her permission to share it and asked her to share it in the thing at the foot of the bed group, because like I said, I didn't know about this cat. How could I see it? She couldn't see it. Now, was it because I saw it on an electronic screen live? I don't know. But
yeah, who knows? It could be too. I mean, you got to look at it this way, guys, and it's hard for some people to understand this, but maybe the cat needed Debbie to know that she was there, and Debbie wasn't picking up on it, so the cat knows that she's talking to this person, and that she. If the cat says, maybe I'll show myself to this person, and this person can tell that person. I mean, they do that stuff all the time. I've had messages come from my loved ones through living people. Like they would literally say something to me that by the people who have passed would say to me. You know what I'm saying? So things happen. Things really do happen in very magical, mysterious ways.
It's the same thing with cell phones. I know people, a friend of mine, and you know her too, Katrina Cooper, her and her friend Rhodey. I remember one time they were filming, they were driving to a live paranormal investigation. It was a long drive, and Rhodey was driving, but Katrina's phone kept dinging, like there was a cell phone text message coming through. And so she started screen recording it, and they kept getting not everything was making sense, but from an unknown number, text messages were coming through, same as phone calls. People have received phone calls. Mm-hmm. Like there's so many things that are unexplainable for any reason if we try to put logic to it, that sometimes it just happens. It's all energy, right? You break it down, and if spirit's better able to manipulate energy.
Spirit's always been, spirit to me is always, they've always implied, listen, believe it, don't believe it. It's all good. It's whatever you need. Go do it. It's okay.
Okay, so this one, I'm trying to remember. I just watched this, too. Did I put it back up on the screen? Probably not. Hang on. Adding it to the stage. There we go. This one was in South America, I think, but hang on. I'm trying to remember what this one's about. Let me see. I can't remember. A lot of them are shorter. This isn't a long.
Says that strange, unexplained things have been happening all around his home. He believes that some sinister presence has attached itself to his family. One night, he and his wife return home to find something truly bizarre.
Well, this was weird. The whole house, for people listening, was covered in flies. There were so many flies, and mostly on our garage door. We started filming. We had to tell our landlord this was not okay.
Yeah.
It's just for people that are listening to it because they can't see it. They're not even in the trash can.
For some odd reason, there are flies swarming all over their house. Oscar says that he can't think of any rational explanation. Another late night, and Oscar's son has fallen asleep on the living room couch.
This part was weird.
The young boy wakes up and sees something that chills him to his core. Oscar's son wakes up after he hears a strange noise and runs to his parents' bedroom, crying and wailing in fear. The young boy tells his dad that he saw someone scary in the hallway. But did you see it?
No.
When Oscar checks his security footage, he sees a large figure that looks like a man just standing in the hallway, staring at his son. Even weirder, whatever this is just seems to disappear into thin air. Oscar Nunez says that he and his family have no idea who or what this is.
No, not again.
That's a hard one.
All right, guys. That's the only thing I don't like with this. I think it's almost done, but hang on. Oh, good, it is. Okay, let me pause it. So that was like about the flies, and I'm glad he didn't say I leave it all up to you, because that doesn't necessarily mean it was anything paranormal. However, there is a theory that when something is more negative and dark, that flies appear. And again, I'm not saying that part was paranormal, but the part about the kid waking up on the couch, seeing whatever the hell was down the hallway, that was a little creepy.
Okay. I don't know if that was true, but I totally get that kid, because remember I told you when I saw the little girl in that house, that was the same thing. I was sitting on the couch and looked down the hallway, and there's that little girl. So I get why that little kid ran. I don't know if it was, I'm not saying it was an evil presence or anything.
Neither am I.
It's all we know. It could be Larry, the next door neighbor who passed away, who just was standing there trying to say, "Hey, can you see me, kid?"
His house might smell like rotten garbage. It's called nose blind.
For the flies,
you live in your house. You live in your house, and you get used to the smell. You don't smell it, right? So I'm not saying that part was evil, but there is a theory out there, and I've seen it before, where not even in my previous home with the dark energy, we never had tons and tons of flies ever show up, but there is a theory. And to me, and I'm hearing this from Spirit right now, that's kind of a horror movie type thing more, I think, than anything.
Yeah, the flies are more of a horror movie type thing. There's a lot of different things for the flies. There's kind of different flies that do congregate like that. There could have been something in the ground organic that was dead, and the flies are trying to get. Could be a lot of things. So I don't think that one's paranormal. The kid one, I understand why that kid.
It was the same house. It was the same house.
Yeah, but I don't think those flies had anything to do with that. And
it was weird.
Yeah, I don't think it was weird.
So Julie said sometimes the animals' bugs have a message, and if you look up the spiritual meaning of the animals on the bugs, go away once you get the message. I like that, Julie. Thank you for sharing that. So that doesn't mean that it's necessarily spooky negative, but it was interesting that, and again, just because you got some dude showing up in the hallway, it's going to scare anybody. I don't care if you're a little kid or whatever, if you've never seen spirit. So
yeah, when they just pop up like that, it can be unnerving. So,
okay. So Kassin says, they're getting dead flies and decomp smell in a room on the Queen Mary lately. Saw on multiple YouTube channels. Well, I can tell you, we had smells in our previous home. If you've ever had a large dog that does number 2, imagine having 1,000 of them. And that smell coming out of nowhere. And I have a pretty strong stomach with some of the things I've seen and gone through as a nurse, like gagging. And just as quickly as it showed up, it was gone. I had that happen many times. And then Julie had shared earlier that when her mom passed away, she phoned Julie. She said, my mom phoned me after she had passed. So Kassoon had asked Julie, wow, what did she say on the phone? Interesting. Sometimes people get calls from the cell phone.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, that happens more times than not. It's an occurrence. I think that they could. It's probably a lot easier to manipulate energy from that side than it is this side.
Mm-hmm.
So they could call you. Should I just call? Here's my phone number.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that happening quite a bit. So Kassoon, though, I did want to answer this for you. We talked to me. He said, my past cats or dogs have never come to me, nor my mom, who passed knowing I'm not doing well. Wish she was around. Miss her every day. She was my best friend. Keep talking to her, Kassoon. Like many of the things we talked about today. And I am telling you, again, I'm not experiencing what you're experiencing, and I'm very sorry for what you're going through. But I am telling you, and I believe this wholeheartedly, your mom is around. She hears you. She feels you. Okay. And a lot of times our loved ones are able to help from the other side that we may necessarily not see, but they are helping on the other side as well. Try sitting down with a picture in front of her and talking to it, or writing her a letter. And again, without trying to, if you can help it, bringing in words like it never happens, it's not going to happen, it won't, it this, it that. Just be open to the experience.
And you know what? When you are doing something very mundane, like say you're, brushing your teeth or something, not doing anything, and the memory pops into your head, they do that a lot. Almost every spirit does that. They will influence you to remember them for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, it keeps the part that we think runs the whole show, our brain, busy. That's why when I do a lot of spiritual work, and I do try to follow, I've said this many times, walk the walk of the talk that I do. So right now, you just, some days are good days, some days are bad days. And I hated it in the beginning. I kept saying, I hate feeling like this. And what I received from Spirit in the most loving, kind way was the quickest and fastest path to start to heal. Not saying I was going to be magically healed in a day or two, is you have to feel the feelings. You have to go through them. You have to process them. And the other thing is doing things that bring you little bits of joy. So right now, things that I probably need to get done, I know need to get done, they're not getting done right now. And that's okay. They're going to be there. They're not going anywhere. But I'm doing things that make me happy. Same as spiritual work, like, and it's all in creativity for myself. But where I'm going with this is it keeps the mind busy. So if you will, the higher self or the connection to the other side is more open. So I love that you shared that, Dave. That was wonderful. So Julie had shared, thanks for sharing, Julie. When your mom had passed, she had called you and you shared with Kasoon. She told me she loved me. She never called me before and never really told me she loved me before. I was the one that always called her. So, and Kasoon said, Julie, that's amazing. And I'm really glad that you felt comfortable sharing that. So thank you, because but our loved ones will. They never, and I want to also put this here, because Julie is a medium too, Kasoon. And she said, your mom and your fur babies are still with you.
No, they are.
Mm-hmm.
The people, yeah, I mean, I can't, it's really hard. It's weird coming from our angle because we're so sure, you know, and we understand that people aren't as sure. We've had these experiences that made us actually say, there's no such thing as dying. We know that. I mean, we know it in our hearts. And I agree with Julie and everything. They're always with you. Don't think that they're not. Even when you think you never feel them, they're there. They really are. It's just sometimes it's hard for us. You know what? Our brains get in the way. You know,
plus grief naturally will lower your vibrational energy. And there's nothing you're going to do about it. Just trust and know that your loved ones are with you and around you. Ask them to send you a sign. I didn't ask for those signs from Justin. He's just doing it. I can tell you, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, I'm going to give her a shout out. She's got Spirit Switchboard tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's a close friend of mine. And the first time I'm sharing this on air, she, I guess, was thinking of me a couple of weeks ago. And so she wanted to send me a GIF that said hugs, you know, the GIFs, GIF. And so I get this message from her. And there's a picture of a GIF that says hugs Justin. And then I get a screenshot of a Google page and the search was hugs. And I'm thinking, what the heck is this? And she sends me a voice message and she goes, you're not going to believe this. She explained that she'd been just thinking of me, wanted to send me this GIF. And she typed in hugs. And the first one that came up was hugs Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Any other GIF that could have come up, again, you can say it's a coincidence if you want, but out of the thousands of gifts that are up there, that's the first one that comes up. Exactly. So these are the type of experiences that I think if we're open to it. Now, some people may think I'm manipulating that because I want to believe that, but I was the one that picked up on that. I would never have known about that. And Carrie Lynn is a medium. She's a very good medium. So the fact, like I said, it's just little things like this. Yeah, and it's not to twist it to make it fit. But when unexplainable things sort of happen and you're open to the experience, you kind of chalk it up and put it in a book, and pretty soon you get a whole list of things that you might not have noticed before that really are happening.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, when spirits do stuff for you, they're not doing it to prove anything to the entire world. They're doing it literally just for you. So it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. They're there. They're always there.
Mm-hmm. So, Julie, and then I'm going to share this last message, and then we got to sign off, but you guys don't go anywhere. Like I said, the second night at the Outer Realm with the amazing Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano is coming up right after this. I think they're having an open mic or something tonight with their guest. I think I saw something like that. Don't quote me on it, but I think I saw it on social media. So Julie said, Kasoon, look for blue butterflies, either in nature or in a photo. I think your mom is sending you blue butterflies to let you know she is okay and is still with you. And sometimes our loved ones will do that too. Like I said, if you make the connection,
just be aware.
Sometimes, and then the more you make the connection, the more your loved ones will send you the signs, or you can ask for them and be quite specific.
I'm going to say this real quick in 1 minute. Long time ago about blue butterflies. in the morning, I'd ask my guides to send me a sign to let me know that they were there. It was like November, it was or December, and I asked for butterflies. I went that entire day. I looked for butterflies. I did everything. No butterflies. There's no butterflies outside, too cold. When I got home from work, I went and got my mail. It was 10 o'clock at night. I opened up my mailbox. 3 letters had, guess what? Butterfly stamps. So you got to remember,
I'm
you got
so
to
glad you shared that, because I tell
Huh?
people this all the time, and then we got to go really honestly, but because you were open to the experience,
That's it.
knowing that probably there wasn't going to be an actual live blue butterfly, but you still received your sign.
I still got the 9. Yeah, because I even tried to look during the day going, okay, I know there's not going to be a butterfly. I picked like the freaking worst season of the year for a butterfly, but they got it to me. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You guys, if you would like to know more about me or anything else, please go to my website, theywhispertome.com. Know that I will never, ever, ever, ever private message you to solicit readings. I don't do that. Neither does Lorilei. Please follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Medium David Hanzel. And please follow me on Substack if you want to know a lot about the other side and how I view emotions and all this. I do a lot of my writings on Substack. It is free to subscribe to that, to read it.
Actually, Dave, I'm going to throw in there, and we missed that comment. Somebody said they loved your article on emotions, and I meant to, and we got pulled off in a different direction, you guys. So I wanted to add that.
Yeah, so I've been writing a lot about a lot of questions people ask me about this and the other side from my point of view, but hopefully it will help some people. But anyway, go ahead, right ahead, Lorilei.
Okay, you guys, so if you ever want to get a hold of me, I do psychic and mediumship readings. I do crystal Reiki and energy healing, teaching, and mentoring. You can get a hold of me on Facebook.com/Angel Rock, or just send me a message on social media, especially Messenger, but any of them. I'm signed up for any platform you can think of, either under the Angel Rock or Lorilei Potvin. Once we have the course ready, Leanne Clark and I check her out at the Crystal Architect too. I'm telling you, she makes grids for people. She does Akashic records. She's an incredible channeler. She's on Instagram and Facebook, but we are working on teaching this course together. Hopefully, time is still speeding up quick, so excuse me, hopefully by the end of May we will have that up. You guys will know more as the date draws nearer. Then I hope to have a domain name under something so it'll be easier to find me, but in the meantime, like I said, Facebook.com/Angel Rock. Don't forget to check. I have 2 groups on Facebook: Paranormal University for all things paranormal, the Angel Rocker Tribe for all things spiritual. Don't forget the Thing at the Foot of the Bed with David Hanzel and Lorilei Potvin. On Facebook, if you got show ideas, pictures, questions, I also post all the video links. So Nuke's Top 5 video will be in there tonight, so you guys can check out the video for yourself. And don't forget to check the post with Debbie Grassberger-Schmoley. She did share the cat pictures you can see that we took, and the post as well in the group. Also, don't forget the Angel Rock, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. And we have Iona Mead coming back up from the UK. You guys loved her. She was all about the law of attraction and, I believe, manifesting and things like that. Don't forget, stay spooky, everyone.
Bye, you guys.
Bye. We'll see you same time, same space next week. Love ya.